Ben Pavlo, author of the new book Self-Help for At-Risk Teens, and I just wanted to introduce you to the first chapter, which is called What is Putting You at Risk? Now, in this chapter, I go over a few of the most common reasons why people are put at risk. And in this first chapter, I go over a few situations that could be putting you at risk. And I just want to kind of make you aware of why you might be at risk, because if you're not aware, then you can't be proactive in taking steps to prevent the negative side of these things. So we start off with, my little bit of my story, which is how I was put at risk. And that was because I came from a broken home, and not having a father figure in my life, I didn't realize how that was going to affect me. So, I didn't see the warning signs because basically I wasn't looking for them. And when I got expelled for bad behavior in the 5th grade, getting kicked out of an elementary school in 5th grade should have been a warning sign. But I really didn't do much about it, and I continued to have more and more problems over the next, several years. So in the first chapter, we talk about what's putting you at risk. In the second chapter, we talk about what you're at risk of. So, that's going to be a little more added on to what we're talking about here. So, starting off with being from a broken home, if you only have one parent, or whatever reason, you're only living with one parent, whether it be your parent, you just don't have a relationship with one of them, or something else may have happened that we'll talk about here in a minute. So the other thing could be is that your parents are going through a divorce or a separation. Now this could be putting you at risk because at the same time, this is very uncertain right now. If you're not sure what's going to happen, if they're going to separate or they're not, right now it's a lot of uncertainty, and your mind's starting to wonder, and it may cause you to start acting out, maybe having some bad behavior, which is really not going to help the situation. So understand that you're at risk because of the emotions that are going to start getting stirred up. The other thing is a lack of education. Now, if you have been prevented from going to school, whether it be because you're moving around, or you're just not registered in the school, something that's out of your control, then, the only thing you can do is just kind of maybe push a little bit to get into school. But if you're registered in school and you're showing up, but you're just not participating, that's totally on you. You need to be active and proactive in your education. You understand that it's important because you're at risk of a lot of things without having a proper education. And so it's really something that you should pay attention to. If it's anything you can control, I suggest that you kind of make some adjustments in order to take full advantage of the education that you have in front of you. Now, you can self-educate yourself if you're not in traditional school, but if you are, participate in learning. The next thing that we talk about is having too much pressure put on you. You may have a lot of expectations. Somebody in your household, whether it be a parent or grandparent or a coach or anyone else in your environment, that's like pushing you, saying you have to get these great grades, and you have to reach a certain grade point average, or you have to get A's or B's or whatever it is. And if you're trying your hardest, and you just have to explain to them, listen, I'm trying my hardest, I'm studying every day, I'm not going out, I'm doing everything I can to make all the necessary sacrifices, but I'm just not getting that A. A B is the best I can do. I'm doing everything I can. So you need to have that conversation with the person or people who are putting this pressure on you, and explain to them that, look, you're doing everything you can. And stop being so hard on you, because it's really not your fault. So as long as you're doing everything you can, then, don't stress, because that's putting you at risk. When you have that pressure, it's causing you a lot of stress in your life, and it's starting to cause all these crazy thoughts, about you not being able to live up to the expectations and stuff. And so stop being so hard on yourself. Have a real conversation with the people who are putting this pressure on you and explain to them that you're going to do your best. Now, the next thing is that if you have lost a parent. Now, I personally have lost my father when I was 10 years old, and then I lost my mother when I was 16 years old. So I have a lot of personal experience in this area, and it's not, there's no good really could come out of it other than you're forced to raise yourself quicker, and you have to take personal responsibility for your own life. And losing a parent is really putting you at risk of seeking attention from the wrong places, or straying into their negative environments, and really just not having the right environment around you. So it's really on you to take control of your life at this point. And I encourage you to do that. Just do what you need to do. There are grief and loss groups that can help you with, overcoming, some of the challenges that come along with, the grief and the loss that are naturally associated with losing a parent, or any family member for that matter. And in the book, in chapter 3, we talk about, anger and how it can affect you. We also have a full chapter on grief and loss in the book. And so, it's this Self-Help for At-Risk Teens book is really all I can do to give you resources that I've used and experiences that I've had for you to be able to, understand what you need to do to take control of your life, and really just what you need to know to how to raise yourself, and what kind of environment, and what choices you should make, and the habits that you have to become aware of. And there's all kinds of things, that everything that I feel I could have benefited from when I was your age. So this video here is just a really short version of the topics in this first chapter. I'm also doing a longer version of it in a podcast form, so I'll put the link to the podcast in this video description. Subscribe to the Self-Help for At-Risk Teens podcast, because that's where I'm going to go a little more deeper into what's covered in the book. And the book is not out yet. It's coming really soon, so subscribe to the email list over at selfhelpforatriskteen's.com or the selfhelpcompany.com. And I look forward to continuing to provide you with content that you can use to take control of your life, take it to the next level, and really I want to help you achieve the life of your dreams. So thank you for tuning in. I look forward to connecting with you in the next video.